Four Seasons loft. In Austin, I stalled, paused. My eyes crawled to a table. Paralyzed by pairwise dice, then attend to this heaven slice of an angel wrapped in skin. Throw dice and woes of life. Love deprived, look at her vibe. What's the meaning of life? One subjective paradise. Crystal chandeliers, moments reflected. Often mirrors appear clear, grinning from ear to ear. Craving and raving and grain, rekindle the flame. Closer she draws near. Stay there, remove your underwear, shove it somewhere over there. In paradise, we know our purpose.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to this edition of the Unpopular Hour. We're going to do a special show today since it is the start of the NBA playoffs. And there were some fantastic games today. And, of course, you see me in the background. I'm at the Santa Fe Family Life Center today. And basically, this is Prep Hoops Girls National Tournament here, or regional tournament. So, but we got girls from all over the country here with Prep Hoops here at Santa Fe Family Life Center. It's a great tournament. It's been fun all day long. Been here since 8 o'clock watching some really, really good girls basketball. And so I'm excited about that. So anyway, that being said, like I said, this is NBA season. The playoffs have happened. I'm excited about what we've seen thus far. And anyway, here's the playoffs. And when I look at this, you can see that Trae Young last night with Miami, they did the play-in games, and they got Miami. And you know what? Trae last night, can I take my hat off to the young man? I mean, he was sensational last night. 38 points, 9 rebounds, 9 assists, 3 rebounds. I mean, 32 in the second half. Just unbelievable. Great game, no turnovers. And so anyway, it was fantastic what I saw with Trae last night. He was just an absolute beast, and he is the reason why Atlanta is in the playoffs and playing Miami, the number 1 seed, in their play-in game last night. So they were down 10, and Trae just basically took over. I mean, it's basically what he did the second half. You have no Capella because he got hurt, and he just was just outstanding. And the product from Norman North High School, the University of Oklahoma, was just outstanding. And now when you look at this breakdown of all the schedule, you can see Philly and Toronto, they're playing right now. And Philly is up 110-90 in the fourth quarter. Right now, it looks like they're in control. James Harden is playing well. And the big fella, of course, Harris is leading the way. Milwaukee and Chicago, that's going to be a great series. Can't wait to see that. Boston and Brooklyn, man, I'm really, really excited to see that game. When you look on the other side, Phoenix against the Pelicans, and of course, Oklahoma City has to thank the Pelicans for beating the Clippers, and we'll talk about why later when you talk about the Thunder and what the draft chances are for them right now, what that looks like for Oklahoma City landing the overall number 1 pick, or at least to a couple of the top 4, which would be fantastic for us to get us back into where we were a few years ago before we lost the player. So then of course Dallas and Utah. Utah beat Dallas earlier in the series this year, and or earlier today. Dallas beat them, and what a great game that was. And when you go back, and here's today's deal. T-Wolves beat the Grizzlies 130-117. The Jazz beat the Mavs 99-93 today. And, of course, the Mavs are without Luka, their best player. I thought they played really well, but the Jazz just too much talent, and Dinwiddie could not do it by himself without Luka. And that 1-2 punch has been tremendous since Dallas traded for him. I believe it was in February. They traded for him. So there's not a lot to say about that. If Luka doesn't come back and everybody talks about, a calf strain, you've been hurt, you've hurt your calf. That is just, you can't do anything. You can't jump, you can't move. That's such a huge and important muscle that you have. And if he can't get that done, and I don't see how he's going to get that done, and by when do they play again? Sunday, I don't see that happening. Or Monday, I don't really see that happening, him being able to cover. But the T-Wolves played fantastic over the Grizz. Jaw was fantastic, and then of course Edwards. He's just been a beast, and what a find that was for the Grizzlies. And that 1-2 punch that they have, him and the Big Cat, was just too much for the Grizzlies to overcome. And remember, the Grizzlies been the hottest team in the league thus far. But like I said, playing 7 games, you're doing the regular season, 7 games are 2 totally different things. They are the number 2 seed, but I don't know how good of a number 2 seed they actually are. Then we look at the Nuggets and the Warriors, which is a whole different ball of wax right there. And, of course, the Raptors and Sixers, like I said, the game is going on right now, and the Sixers are handling the Raptors pretty easily. And when you look at that, so like I said, this is my favorite time of the year when you've got Final Four games going on. Then, of course, you have basketball tournaments for AAU and kids and boys and girls. So that's exciting. That's the beautiful thing about what I do as a basketball supervisor, as a basketball coach, as a basketball trainer. I get to be around kids and be around the game and just watch kids develop, which is just a fantastic thing for me to be able to do. But that being said, it's been a great day of basketball. I've loved what I've seen thus far. And tonight is going to be, oh, man, it's just exciting. I'm pumped up, okay? I mean, let's face it, I'm pumped up. I'm ready for everything to continue to go. And, of course, guess who is tonight? The Warriors are on tonight. I'm going to be looking forward to seeing them and see how they play. I don't think Steph is going to play yet. They said he practiced. Draymond is, their key engine to that. And, they've got such talent, and Poole is emerging himself as one of the best players in the NBA. So that's going to be interesting to see what happens with the Warriors and how well they actually can play tonight. But like I said, NBA basketball all day today. The 4th game will be tonight, and tomorrow will be just the same. NBA basketball all day long, and so I'm excited about that. But like again, I'm just really excited to see what Trey did and what happened with him, and it's just pretty cool. But now let's go back to the Thunder, and we talked about the Thunder. We talked about what all they needed to do, what needed to happen with the Oklahoma City Thunder, because remember, Pelicans and the Clippers played. Now, we needed the Pelicans to win, like we talked about. We needed the Pelicans to win. Why? Because if the Pelicans beat the Clippers, then what that means is the Thunder gets the 12th overall pick, okay, in the draft. If the Clippers won and got into the playoffs, that meant the Thunder were out of the lottery for the second option in the lottery. We were dropped to number 15. So that being said, you look at what that meant for us, that draft class. You look at what that means for the projected draft order for the Thunder. Current picks, number 4. Of course, we had the 4th best losing record in the NBA. And as I've said before, the scary part is we went 4-6 in our last 10 games. And the worst record was Detroit at 20-62. And we beat Detroit. Remember, they came to the city and we beat them. That's a game we needed to lose. But once again, the Thunder had players hurt. We let these other guys come in and play. They played great, but the problem is we don't need you to play great. We need you to lose. But these guys going 4-6, and why do they do that? Because they're playing for their futures. They're playing to win. They're playing to create tape saying that I believe in and I belong in this league. That's what they're doing. So that's what ends up happening. On the flip side of that, for us as Thunder fans, no, we need you to lose. If we went 0-10, all of a sudden we're 20-62. Then you look at the head-to-head matchup with Detroit, who is the worst team. Or we finished the second worst team at 22. So once again, we beat a Portland team with guys that I had never even heard of before, that we just brought out of I don't know where, G League something. These guys came in and beat Portland at home. Really? We had a horrible home record. All of a sudden, we're winning games at home. Beat Detroit at home. Beat Portland at home. What is going on? When we need us to lose, they win. Just like last year. We needed to lose the last game of the year. What did we do? We somehow won. Same thing this year. We needed to lose. Somehow we go 4-6 in our last 10 games with G League players. it's just frustrating uh, as an analyst or as a Thunder fan to sit there and look at it knowing what potentially that meant. And when you look at what we have right now, we're the fourth best chance to get the number one pick. We have the 12th best chance to get the number one pick. And then we have the 30th overall pick. So it's frustrating for me to see that and see what we have, and all of a sudden, gone. Gone. But to get two chances at the overall pick, and then we've talked about what the players are. We've talked about the NBA draft. We've talked about the players that are available out there. There's some talent out there. I mean, there's some absolute talented guys out there, and I'm excited to see. To see what the Thunder can do, because this draft class, man, is pretty good. And then, like I said, we're gonna go back to the Thunder's draft class of last year. Look at what our last year's class was. Josh Giddey, 12.5 points a game. Trey Mann, 10.4 points per game. Aaron Wiggins, 8.3. And Jeremiah Robinson Earl was playing really, really good until he got hurt, which he missed, 20-something games or whatever with the injury. So you look at these three, and three of these guys started for us along this year, along with with SGA and Dort. So you look at that, and it's not a bad group. You had Josh Giddey, you had Aaron Wiggins, you had Jeremiah Earl, you had Dort, and you had SGA. That was the Thunder starting five. And when you look at that, look at what that means right there. Look at what that says. That gives us a great chance to do something, to be a team, to finish strong. That's what that says about us right now. And when you look at this, and you look at the draft class, and you look at what possibly could happen in this next class, or what we could possibly get in the next draft, it's extremely exciting about what could happen. So I'm excited about it. I'm liking what I see. I'm loving what the Thunder is doing right now. And it's exciting to see what we possibly can do and what we possibly can accomplish. So let's take a break, and then we'll be right back to talk more about where the Thunder are and what we're doing. So, hey, everybody hang on, and thank you for watching the Unpopular Hour with Matt Clark. We'll be right back. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Unpopular Hour. Of course, I'm your host, Matt Clark. We're talking a bunch today about the NBA draft and how fortunate the Thunder were that the Clippers got beat by the Pelicans. Thank you, New Orleans, giving us the 12th pick, as we had discussed in the earlier segment when we broke down where the Thunder is. If you've missed that, you go back and rewind it. But the Thunder now have the 4th overall pick. The Thunder have the 12th overall pick, and we have the 30th pick. So the 12th and the 4th means that we have two opportunities to get the number 1 overall pick. Wouldn't it be great if we go 1-2? I could see, us getting the big fella from Auburn, Carroll, both of those guys. If we draft Chet, we already got one of those guys. You got a 6'11" guy who can't play already. That's a project in Poku. Let's go get some guys who played in college, who've excelled at the highest level. That's what we need. We need shot blockers. We need somebody to come in and play right away. Somebody can shoot the three, which Chet can't do, but he can't defend. We need a shot blocker and people who can defend in the post. That's what we need. We need 3 and D guys who can shoot the three, guys who can play in the paint. That's what we need. We need some sort of rim protector, which we don't have. We do have Sarr, which is a great pickup, and he's getting better, but he's just not quite what we need. We have a bunch of 6'4" through 6'9" guys for the Thunder. We don't need any more of that. We need guys to get bigger, stronger. That's what we need, and that's what I see thus far. And when you look at the draft, and we'll be talking more about that Monday when we have my boy Drew Henthorn, which, of course, let's look at Drew And let's look at his picks. He had the Sixers -4 and the Warriors -6, and of course his Braves with the money line at -105. So the Sixers are playing right now against Toronto, and the Sixers are pretty much handling them. The score is 116-94 with 8 minutes to go, so we can pretty much say that, Drew, that is a winner. So we'll see what happens with the Warriors tonight. So anyway, if you haven't checked out my boy Drew Henthorn of HuskerDrewPicks.com, please, by all means, go to his website, look him up, boom, click on him, and get that done, because Drew is he's my boy, and he's been ridiculously hot lately in his picks, and he does give good advice, and he has some good options. So if you want to make some money by gambling and doing that, that's not something I do, but if that's what you want to do, please, by all means, go ahead and do it. So now back to what I was talking about. The NBA playoffs are going on right now. I'm excited to see what's been happening, and when you look at the playoffs right now, you got the Golden State Warriors in Denver tonight. Okay, you got Memphis and Minnesota, and of course Minnesota took care of business today. You have Dallas and Utah. Of course, Utah took Dallas down today. So both of those are down. Utah is up 1-0 in that series, and Minnesota is up 1-0 for Memphis. And what the funny part is, or what the interesting part is, both of these wins have come on the road. Utah beat Dallas at Dallas without Luka, and of course Minnesota beat Memphis at Memphis. And Memphis, of course, is fully loaded, but of course they are young. They will bounce back, and I see them having a good game, or having a better game. And then when you look at what's going on now with Philly and Toronto, of course Toronto is getting handled pretty well by Philly, which I thought Philly would win this game. James Harden came out and said there's no pressure on him to do anything. He doesn't feel any pressure. I'm going to, excuse my language, call some bullshit on that. I think that there is pressure for him because he's been notorious in fading away during the playoffs and not really doing anything. So in the Miami and Atlanta series, like I said, I think Miami will handle the business. I think it'll be good. But that being said, Atlanta is 16-5 in their last 21 games. They're really hot right now. But Miami's defense, and they're strong, and it depends on how hurt Capella is, because Trey at that point would have to just have one of the all-time greatest series ever, and he would have to continue what he did, putting up 32 points in the second half of their game last night. And then on top of that, Trey would have to have no turnovers. And, of course, Trey led the league in TOs this year, passing Westbrook, because Westbrook did not play the last 3 games. So, therefore, Trey did beat him. But that being said, you got to appreciate what the young man has done. But like I said, I'll probably take Miami in a really close series. That's what I'm looking at now. Monday, Drew Henthorn and I will go over this whole thing. Milwaukee and Chicago will be enough. Boston and Brooklyn, we really are going to have a talk about that and how those two teams match up. And remember, if Kevin Durant wore a 17 instead of a 17 and a half, Milwaukee would not be the current NBA champions, because he would have ended it by knocking down to 3. But because his barely toe was on the line, it was counted a 2 and went overtime instead of sending them home. So the people may not like replay, but replay works sometimes. It helps. Sometimes it hurts. It depends on which side you're on. You love it if it's for your team. You hate it if it's against your team. So, but I'm a big fan of getting it right. It's irrelevant how it works. In the Super Bowl, how the hell is that's not a face mask? That's just by Cincinnati. If it had been the other way around, it would have definitely been a face mask on the defense. So that was very frustrating to watch that. You have replay. Replay is there to get it right. Get it right. Regardless of the circumstances, get it right. That's what we all want to see. We want the game being called fair as possible. And if a replay is indisputable, there's not quite, then that's fine. But when somebody grabs, or you're out there by himself and you grab it, and then the NBA or the NFL office says, "Oh, it wasn't." So the offense can grab the defense's face mask, but the defense can't grab the offense's face mask. That's what you're saying. That's what you said. Call it what you want. That's what you said. But I like the fact that the replay is there, so that's going to be interesting to see what happens there, because Williams, the big guy for Boston, is out. So the question is, the defensive presence and what he brings to them is going to be that much more missed. But you do have possibly one of the best defensive players and should be runner-up, or if not the winner, he will be in the 1, 2, or 3. Marcus Smart, of course, OSU guy, in the Defensive Player of the Year talk. Now, being OSU, I'm going to be a little prejudiced. I'm going to say that Marcus should be the Player of the Year, but then again, remember, Laker fan, can't cheer anything Boston. Just saying. Can't really cheer for Boston when it comes to that, because I am a Laker fan. So that's kind of my hard thing with that. I don't like that because of that. But that being said, it's going to be a good series, and I want them to do well, and we'll see how that works. So I'm excited. Like I said, I think that Philly is up 24 with 6 minutes left. It looks like they're going to handle their business tonight. Of course, we have the Warriors and the Nuggets. Jokic, is he the Player of the Year? Or is Embiid, who led the league in scoring 30-plus, is he the Player of the Year? To me, it's Embiid. How do you give it to Jokic? He played on a team that finished 5th or 7th or 6th, whatever it was. How do I give it to them, or 8th, whatever they finished? How do I give it to them? Oh, I guess they finished 5th. How do I give it to him? How do I give it to a guy over this other guy who just played? He was the best player all year long. Not at the end, all year long. Now, did Jokic put up some great numbers? Yes, he has. But if you're the MVP, is it about numbers, or is it about making your team win? Now, granted, Jokic was only guy on the court. He did put them into position for them to be, I believe they're the 5th seed in the West. Yes. But Embiid has just been a monster all year long. So, to me, you have to go over the body of work no matter what somebody does lately, no matter what somebody does stats. It's about, where did your team finish? Were you in the top? Were you in the middle? Were you in the bottom? Where were you? So, to me, it's just kind of an easy thing. I'm going to go with Embiid. I think he was the overall winner. Giannis played fantastic, and so did Jokic, but I've got to give it to Embiid this year. I think he deserved it, and he should win his first MVP. And when you look at the game today and you've watched him play, you can just see that he's playing with a certain urgency. You look at Harden. We all know that Harden has not been the best when it comes to the playoffs, and you watched him get a couple non-calls, and he's sitting there flailing his hands. That's why you have trouble in the playoffs. They give you calls all year long. When you come to the playoffs, you know this is not your first rodeo. They're not going to give you calls, James. So stop whining, okay? They're not going to give you calls. So what does that mean for you? What that means for you, James, is that you've got to play through that and understand playoffs, season, 2 different things. But you all want to get calls, so you too busy whining about that instead of focus on the next thing. It's like in golf. You have to stay in the present. The great players are always in the present. You can't worry about what happened to you. There's nothing you can do to change that. You can change what's happening to you right this moment. You can't predict the future, but whatever's happening right here, you can control it. I've always told my players, you have to stay in the present. You can't worry about what's happening over there or what's happening over there. You have to stay in the present the whole time to figure out, what do you need to do? How do I make my team win? How am I going to get better? How do I improve? Those are the things that matter. Those are the things that make the difference. So, that being said, Harden, you got to step up. You got to play. You can't worry about that. Now, he did play good today, but the question is, will he continue to do that? Okay, that's the question. Will he continue to do that? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. We shall see. But he's a tremendous player, and if he steps up and plays anywhere like he did when he was with us, because we talk about the finals, everybody forgets that the reason why the Thunder got to the NBA Finals is because James Harden just shredded San Antonio Spurs. That's how we got to play Miami. Now, I didn't think we were going to beat Miami because we did match up well with them. And like I tell everybody, it doesn't matter what sport it is. It's about matchups. How well do you match up with this team? In the NBA, you got to play somebody 7 times. So you know all the strengths. You know all the weaknesses. You know what players are going to do, what they're not going to do. You know what their tails are. But great players, it doesn't matter if you know what they're going to do. They're going to do it anyway. They're going to do it anyway. All you can do is try the best you can to curtail that to keep them from doing everything. That's all you can do. You can't stop those guys. You can't stop Kevin Durant. You can't stop Steph Curry. Okay? You can't stop John Morant. You can't stop Edwards. And by the way, I want to congratulate both of them. They're the first two rookies under 22 to ever do 30 and 30 in a dueling match against one another. So what does that say for the NBA in the future? Things are looking up. LeBron is fading away. He's getting older. He's slowly going down. Now you got these young guys coming up. So the future of what the NBA looks like is going to be fantastic. Then, of course, the Thunder, you have SGA, who is one of the emerging best point guards in the state. So what do we have to do with the Thunder? We have to continue to draft well to build them up. And we have this draft is going to be great for us because having the 4th overall chance, the 12th overall chance, and the 30th pick, you can find some guys to fill some needs. Plus, that's not to mention what we have in the second draft. So we have all of that. Round 2, we've got draft picks. Round 1, we have a chance to do some things. And we want everybody to just cross your fingers and say, yes, we're going to do well. Yes, we are going to play. We are going to be in the top 4. We are going to get the number 1 overall pick. I think it'd be great if we went 1 and 2, or 2 and 3, 2 and 4. That would be fantastic for us. 3 and 4, because I'm saying there is in that top half, except for Chet, he needs to go away. You've got some talent. And what do we talk about all year long? What do the Thunder need? Guys who can shoot 3 and rim protectors. That's what the Thunder needs. Rim protectors, guys who can shoot the ball. That's what we need. The guys we have right now, and like I said on After the Storm, my Thunder show, we're going to break down this year's players, who we had, where they're at, whether they should be there, whether they should not be there. We're going to break down how they played this year. We're going to talk about their future with the Thunder and not with the Thunder, and then who the Thunder needs to add. So we're going to go into further detail about that on After the Storm. We're also going to go into detail about it on the Unpopular Hour, which is the show that we're talking about now. So, and then, like I said, I'm excited about it because we're going to be doing more and more remote broadcasts. So there's going to be some issues like we have today. That's the difference between a live stream and a podcast. In a podcast, you can hide your mistakes and you can edit them out. In a live stream, if I click on the wrong thing, it pops up. Click on the wrong thing, it pops up. So eventually, I will get better at it. I'm going to have somebody do assistant, and I've had people talk to me about them on Facebook, wanting to talk to me on Facebook and sending me a message. Well, bro, I'm sorry I can't see you on Facebook. I don't have the ability to see you on Facebook and to be able to answer the questions. And those are the things that I have issues with, and I'm going to get better at it. It's just going to take me some time. But I appreciate all the support I'm getting from people. Like I said, I've got people who want to sponsor the show, and I'm going to be talking to them, and we're going to expand, and we're going to get better. And like I said, we're going to be going to different locations. I know my plan is on Tuesday to be at George's Happy Hog. That's kind of my plan. I don't know if y'all been to George's, but I was there. It's off the chain. I really like it. I know I'm going to go to Ned's. I know I'm going to Rococo's. I know that I'm going to do in that place. I know I'm going to go to Ash to smoke some cigars. So I know there's certain places that are on the menu that I know I'm going to go to, and we're going to be doing the live stream and stuff from those locations. And then we'll be adding speakers so that we can get out there and we can talk and we can do those things. And then I'm also going to be doing live streams here at Santa Fe Family Life Center when we have big tournaments, because I think it's important that you can kind of see over my shoulder here, or you can see over my shoulder here that there's a girls' game going on, and you get to come in and you get to watch good girls basketball and good boys basketball. So I'm excited about that. And I'm excited that everyone, I appreciate, like I said, I appreciate all the support you guys are giving me out here, and it's just fantastic. So that being said, I want to thank everybody for watching. This is a special edition of the Unpopular Hour, and like I said, on Monday, My boy Drew Henthorn of HuskerDrewPicks.com will be going over all the playoffs that's happened this weekend. Today's games, to games tonight, and the games tomorrow. So we'll be going over all of that and recapping that on Monday, plus giving you some early predictions and odds on who we think is going to win in the next games, and he'll be giving you those picks, and we'll be breaking down the whole NBA playoffs, which I'm really excited about doing that. So once again, I want to thank everybody for watching this edition of the Unpopular Hour from, of course, the Santa Fe Family Life Center, and watching Prep Hoops Girls Edition this weekend. So everybody out there, be safe. Peace out.